It is 21 minutes past 7. Someone in the UK is told they have Parkinson's disease on average every hour. For those with the condition, it can have a profound effect, slowing movement and causing tremors.
Well, a new study now shows that many of those lives are also affected by the way that other people react. The charity Parkinson's UK says being stared or laughed at or mistaken for being drunk left many of them feeling intimidated and invisible.
Breakfast's Jay McCubbin has been to meet one young person living with the disease.
The diagnosis came when he was just 26, Parkinson's disease. A disease which affects the brain. As brain cells are lost, movement is impaired. But it's the public reaction to that which can really compound the suffering of people like Richard.
The early stages, I sort of isolated myself. People asked if I want to go out and I wouldn't go out because I knew, well, what people would be doing.
It wasn't so much about how you physically felt, it was that you couldn't cope with the reaction that you were likely to get.
Yeah, couldn't cope with it.
Richard and Karen have lived with the diagnosis for 7 years now. In that time, Amelia has come along to keep the family busy. But in his worst moments, life is very difficult.
Okay, this is Richard in an off stage.
We asked Karen to record some of those moments for us.
Okay, let me just get a bit closer.
The worst moments for me, I just can't move. Literally, I'm just frozen. I got out of the chair.
There is medication to help the brain make the connections needed to tell the body to move, but that can create other problems.
With the medication, means that you can be quite twitchy, quite extreme movements.
This is often what the public see but fail to understand. Parkinson's UK say 1/3 of sufferers have been stared at. 1/4 have had symptoms mistaken for drunkenness. 1 in 10 have been laughed at.
I remember coming out of a restaurant one day and there were 2 lads, probably early 20s. And they were just blatantly pointing and laughing. I just turned to them and I said to them, you know, that man that you're there, I said, he's got Parkinson's. I said, and he was probably diagnosed at an age not much older than you are. It does upset me, it does, yeah, and especially if Richard sees it happen, you know, that's difficult as well because it knocks his confidence. And his confidence was knocked enough, you know, he doesn't need that.
Today's research shows this kind of reaction means 6 in 10 will suffer anxiety alongside their symptoms.
So, I mean, I know people are inquisitive, but keep it yourself.
Jay McCubbin, BBC News.
Well, joining us to talk about this more is Professor David Brun, a consultant neurologist and clinical director at the charity Parkinson's UK. Good morning to you.
Morning.
That story we saw there, you know, really moving. People staring, people being nosy.
Yes.
That obviously still happens all the time.
Yes. Half people with Parkinson's in the UK have experienced episodes of rudeness. And that's why at the beginning of Parkinson's Awareness Week, we're absolutely desperate to get the public to pledge to undertake small acts of kindness, really to try and improve the situation and make society a friendlier place for people with Parkinson's.
And the difficulty is, I suppose, people don't have much patience for people who are drunk, and if you think somebody is drunk and they're getting in the way,
Yes.
then you're not going. Very few people are going to stop and think, well, actually, does this person have Parkinson's? I mean, is there how do you tell?
It's a good point. We don't expect the public to become diagnosticians and to be able to spot people with Parkinson's. It's a very complex disorder, and as we saw in the video, at its worst, people are absolutely frozen, stiff, rigid, and just don't want to go out in that situation. They'll stick in a doorway, they can't get through. When the medication's working too well and the condition is more advanced, they might be wriggling and writhing, and to the uninitiated, they would look drunk and they could be swaying from side to side. So the campaign that Parkinson's UK are trying to do is to basically make the public just be more aware and to cut some, you know, give people the chance, not, you know, take your time, don't rush, don't be trying to pull a change out of your purse, take your time and be more, you know, be more slow.
One of the things that I know points you want to get across is that people with Parkinson's notice people staring at them or
Yes.
commenting.
Yes.
You know, they can hear you talking about them and see you staring at them,
Yeah.
and that almost, well, that without doubt makes them feel worse.
I think the critical thing is that Parkinson's is not just a motor disorder, it's got the non-motor elements, so they're prone to depression, they're prone to anxiety anyway. And as you say, if somebody is being heard and being talked about, it just exacerbates. So that means that they stay at home. People with Parkinson's, 1 in 5 would prefer to stay indoors and miss a meal than to go out and engage in public because of this reaction.
It's not just older people either who get it.
It's not. Around a third of people with Parkinson's will develop symptoms before the age of 65. But the vast majority of people with Parkinson's in the UK are generally older people and have all of the challenges as well to face that older people have.
So really, basically, we all need to be a bit more tolerant, don't we?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Professor David Brun, thanks very much indeed for your
You're
time
welcome.
this morning.
Thank you.
27 minutes past 7 time now to